know when you might need a referee on hand. I suppose, the big talking point here is that on our aspect, obviously Bayern Munich cruising through. You would expect Arsenal will go out once again, 7th consecutive year if they don't make some kind of miraculous recovery out again. Does the club itself have to look at itself and say, what are we? Do we want to go further forward? Do we gamble on another manager?
Yeah, I feel like I'm repeating myself again. Yeah. What is the remit from the Arsenal board to Arsene Wenger? That's the killer question. Is it qualifying for the Champions League, which he's done comfortably every year, or is it to go on and win the Champions League? Is it to go on and win the Premier League? And if once we get the answers to that, then you can say. But listen, I'll be disappointed if Arsene Wenger is remembered for this period of his management. He came to this country and revolutionised many parts of sports science and got players thinking the correct way about football and their health and their lifestyle. And he has to be remembered and for being successful winning trophies.
It's quite extraordinary. There are not that many clubs that, you know, of Arsenal's stature around the world that well, I can't think of anyone that's kept a manager that long without having success. Obviously in the early days, well, lots of success in the early days. Does he warrant eternity in the job?
Success is relative. I mean, obviously the quality can't match the expectations over a long period because we are from Germany. I mean, if we talk about Arsenal, it's always a high-profile club, you know, successful, high standard, but it's not enough, you know, to win a real trophy, which means the Premier League or going even for the.
It's been too many years, Michael, hasn't it, of young players developing, waiting for it to turn around, and it never. Where is that trophy coming from? 7 years now, Champions League, not beyond this stage. 2006, they were in the final. And what has happened since then? It's been too hollow for the Arsenal fans, and they want a proper trophy, and they feel the Premier League.
He has divided Arsenal fans for quite a while, hasn't he, Martin? You're either a Wenger out man or you're a Wenger man through and through. But it does seem to be that more and more creeping towards that Wenger out side, don't they?
The intelligent thing is for the manager to find the right moment to leave. All the good leaders have done it successively. They know their exit plan, and that's something now that the club will strongly look at, I'm sure.
And one other thing, I suppose, as well, if the club is still, you know, still struggling, they don't go through in the Champions League and they don't challenge for the title, which looks a long shot at the moment, does there come a stage where they're big stars, the Özil, Sanchez, for example, their contracts are kind of winding up? Do they depart? Is this kind of a crux moment for us?
I think it's a huge moment. You've got the management situation, but you've also got the top players at the club. Sanchez is definitely one of them. Özil, these two players are going to have people caught in them, and they're at a point in their careers where they're saying, you know what? It's not about money, it's about winning things. These guys want to win things. You see what he's like, Sanchez, when he's with his national team, winning, that desire and hunger in his face. He's going to want that at his club.
We say that, Rio, and it's maybe doom and gloom, but what a huge platform for, maybe if we're talking already about the next manager to come into, to what he's put in place, the sort of brand of football, the stadium, the platform is there for Arsenal to really push on. But you do feel now that
it's also difficult though when you've had someone, as we saw at Manchester United with Sir Alex Ferguson, that's been so dominant at the football club for so long. It's difficult for the person to come in and change things dramatically.
A lot of change.
Yeah, but you can go a certain direction. The first thing I think is you have to sign the big players and give them other big players next to them that they can grow, like you said. And Özil, he's a great player, but he's not the kind of leader, you know, which we know from the, I don't use that word normally, but the old days, you know, this kind of where he also can look up a bit next to it when it's a difficult time, you know, and 3-4 players looking at each other and they know, now we go. This Arsenal team, there is one looking to the other and try and ask for help, you know. That look like kids more or less sometimes.
Exactly.
It's not a team who's going over a long period, long term in the right direction. So there should be major decisions coming up.
I sense
which way I want to go.
There might be, Michael. I use the phrase "old days are locks." That's kind of all I've got.
You like that
nowadays. Coming up next, we'll show you.